Okay, so in this video, we're going to go through 8b. I apologize for the poor audio. I don't have my microphone with me at the moment, so you're just going to have to bear with this poor audio quality. It says, what is the smaller angle between the hour hand and minute hand on a clock at these times? So here we have 5:45. 5, that's an ugly 5. 5:45. So let's just draw in where our hands are going to be. My big hand is going to be on the 9, and my small hand is going to be, well, it's 5, right? But it's 5:45, so it's not going to be exactly on the 5, is it? Rather, it's going to be closer to the 6 because, you know, it's gone 3/4 of the hour. So it's going to be about there. Let me just change that a little bit. Let me just put it there. So this is just a rough sketch just to help us visualize. We're, of course, not being judged on how pretty our clock is, because this clock is pretty ugly. Okay, now what are we going to do here? The first thing that we're going to do is just remind ourselves of something that we saw at the very beginning. If I just draw a straight line down here, and then I can draw a line from this 5 to this 6. Now you can already see that this line here isn't great, so let me try this again. Because I know that the angle of that angle right there, and I'll draw this out here, is going to be 30 degrees. We figured that out in part A. It's going to be 30 degrees. Now I have this small hand, and the small hand is about there. What I need to figure out is what is the angle, let me grab orange, what is this angle here? What is this angle here going to be? How am I going to do that? Well, what I'm going to do is the following. I'm going to say that I know that it's been 45 minutes out of 60 minutes, and that is 3/4. So what that means is that this small hand here has moved 3/4 of the way from this 5 to the 6. Now, if it's moved 3/4 of the way, 3/4 of the way from the 5 to the 6, that means that this little space here remaining is going to be 1/4. Hopefully that makes sense, because I've moved 3/4 of the way. So this here, that's 3/4, which means what's left over here is 1/4. This right here is 1/4. So what I'm going to do is the following. I'm going to come here and I'm going to say 1/4 of 30 degrees. What is 1/4 of 30 degrees? That's 1/4 times 30. We can use our calculator here. So I'm going to go 1/4 times 30. It's 7.5 degrees. So that means that right there is 7.5 degrees. And now what I have to do is I have to figure out what the rest is. Well, I know that this here is 30. I know this here is 30. I know this here is 30. So that means from here to that red dotted line, this is going to be 30, 60, 90. It's just a right angle, isn't it? It's just 90 degrees. So that means my final answer is going to be, I have 90 degrees. Let me do that in green to keep the colors the same here. I have 90 degrees. I have 7.5 degrees. That means my final answer is going to be 97.5 degrees. And that's kind of the thinking of what we're doing here. Hopefully this has made sense. If it hasn't, please come speak to me tomorrow, and we can kind of clarify if you need clarification on this. I'll go through C, and hopefully that'll clarify things a bit more as well. But that's kind of what we're thinking about when we're thinking of this type of question. Hopefully you found this useful. I'll see you in the next one.